90 feet of gold rises from the dust, a statue built not to a god, but to an ego. It gleams, it dominates the horizon, and every official in the empire has been summoned to look at it and to kneel before it. This is Babylon, the empire that swallowed nations whole, and in a few moments, it is about to demand something it has never demanded before. Not tribute, not taxes, not labor. It is about to demand worship. Somewhere in that crowd stand three young men whose names most people don't remember correctly. Not their real names, the ones stripped from them the day they arrived in chains. Years earlier, Jerusalem fell. Nebuchadnezzar's armies had broken through, and among the captives marched north into exile were four young men of noble blood, sharp minds, strong bodies, showing intelligence in every branch of wisdom. Their captors saw potential, so they did what empires do to potential. They tried to erase where it came from. New language, new education, new names. Hananiah became Shadrach, Mishael became Meshach, Azariah became Abednego. Their friend Daniel became Belteshazzar. Every one of their old names had carried the name of the God of Israel woven into it. Every one of their new names carried the name of a Babylonian god instead. This was not an accident. This was strategy. Rename a man, and you start to unmake him. But something in these four refused to unmake. Daniel resolved that he would not defile himself. Not with the king's food, not with the king's indulgence. Quietly, without a single sermon, four captives drew a line in the sand of a foreign palace. And when the test came, they were found 10 times better than every magician and enchanter in the kingdom. They rose, Daniel, to the king's inner circle, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to positions over the affairs of the province of Babylon, exiles ruling in the very empire that had conquered them. But rising in Babylon came with a price nobody had mentioned yet. Now, years later, that price stands on the plain of Dura, 90 feet of gold, catching fire in the sunlight. Every rank of Babylonian government has gathered, every official under heaven's sky summoned for the dedication. And a herald's voice cracks across the plain with the command that will define the rest of this story. When you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, you are to fall down and worship the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. And whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace. It doesn't take long. Certain Chaldeans, court rivals perhaps, men who had watched 3 foreign exiles rise to power in their empire and resented every inch of it, step forward with the kind of eagerness that suggests they had been waiting for exactly this moment. There are certain Jews, they announced to the king, whom you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. Notice the accusation. It isn't framed as theology. It's framed as loyalty. They don't respect you. That's the wound Nebuchadnezzar feels. Not that his God has been ignored, but that he, personally, has been ignored. Furious, he sends for them. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are brought before the throne. 3 men standing where an entire empire had just knelt. Nebuchadnezzar gives them something almost no one in his position ever offers a condemned man: a second chance. If you are ready to fall down and worship the image that I have made, well and good. But if you do not worship, you shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace. Daniel chapter 3, verse 15. And then, the line meant to end the conversation before it starts. Who is the God who will deliver you out of my hands? Their reply needs no embellishment. We have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. This is not the confidence of men who are certain they will survive. This is the faith of men who have already made peace with the possibility that they won't. They do not say, God will save us, so we're not afraid. They say, God is able to save us, and even if he chooses not to, we still will not bow. That is a different kind of courage than the kind we're used to celebrating. It isn't the courage of guaranteed rescue, it's the courage of surrendered outcomes. He escalates. Heat the furnace 7 times more than it was usually heated. Daniel chapter 3, verse 19. 7 times hotter. Not because the punishment required it, because his rage did. The strongest soldiers in his army are ordered to bind the 3 men, cloaks, tunics, everything, and throw them in. The furnace is so hot that the flames leap out and kill the soldiers who threw them in. Scripture doesn't soften this detail. The flame of the fire killed those men who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The men who lit the fire die from its heat. The men bound and thrown into it do not. With this, Nebuchadnezzar leans forward to watch the execution he ordered. And instead of satisfaction, his face fills with something closer to terror. "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire?" he asks his counselors. They confirm it. And then he says the words that change everything. "But I see 4 men unbound walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods." The king who built a 90-foot idol to be worshipped is now staring into his own furnace, and what he sees there breaks him. Not 3 corpses, 4 figures, walking, unharmed. In the heart of a fire, 7 times hotter than it needed to be. He rushes to the furnace door and shouts into it, no longer commanding but almost pleading. "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here." They step out of the fire, and what happens next is almost more remarkable than the fire itself. The satraps, the prefects, the governors, the king's own counselors, all gather around and see it with their own eyes. The fire had not had any power over the bodies of those men. The hair of their heads was not singed, their cloaks were not harmed, and no smell of fire had come upon them. Nebuchadnezzar, the same king who had mocked their God only hours before with the words, "Who is the God who will deliver you out of my hands?" now stands before his entire court and answers his own question. "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants, who trusted in him and set aside the king's command and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own God." Yielded up their bodies. An empire had built a statue 90 feet tall to make sure no one forgot who ruled the plain of Dura. History remembers the statue as rubble and dust. It remembers the 3 men who wouldn't kneel to it. Everyone else bowed. They didn't, even when it meant the furnace